how to find winning suppliers so that you can find products for your e-commerce business that will last for many years to come. Check it out. Okay, so what I want to show through is how to find winning suppliers. So I showed the criteria, what we're looking for in terms of products. Now I'm going to go through where to actually find the suppliers. So, how to find winning suppliers. I will also go through what we've done as well, just to make it a bit more applicable. So, first thing is one. I'm going to keep it simple for the first one because it is simple. If I open this fucking Jesus Christ, get some more weight here. Okay, first one here we got is, as we probably expect, Alibaba. Now, this is probably the most used. Obviously, China is the supply chain to the entire world. Basically, at this point, Alibaba is the gateway into that. There is other sites like 1688, which is like the local version of Alibaba, but it's in Chinese. So if you had a sourcing agent, which we've used as well, then you can obviously use 1688. It might be a little bit cheaper, but ultimately, Alibaba is the place to be. I know people with like 8-figure businesses that haven't even negotiated with their suppliers, so you can get lost in like trying to find like the best of the best of the best. You get a good product, you get a good supplier, that's enough. So Alibaba, so it's going to be mostly China. However, I know they are also in other countries as well. So that's Alibaba. You'll obviously pop on there and start contacting suppliers, RFQs, asking them for prices. Okay, next one here we've got is going to be Google. So particularly if you're looking at, let's say, USA, Europe, Google is going to have all the suppliers listed on there. Now there might be some benefits to going to events or looking up listings. What am I trying to say? Supplier directories. But ultimately, if you're going to go USA and Europe, you're going to find most on Google. So that's it, simple as that. The next one we have got is so you got 4, I got 5 here. So I got 5 total. The next one we have got is events. So at the end here, I'll show you which ones we've actually done. So yeah, events pretty straightforward. There's going to be supplier events, there's going to be expos, there's going to be conventions. Obviously big ones in China, but there's also big ones in Europe as well. What you're looking for is private label suppliers. Now, most factories are not going to be selling their own goods, generally speaking. They're doing private label. So that means obviously putting your brand on the packaging, putting your brand on the product and giving it to you to sell. Of course, later or at the start, you could iterate on the product, get your own designs, recipes, formulas, molds for products, but this can all come necessarily later. So yeah, I get a little bit lost here. So Alibaba, Google, events, everywhere. Obviously, a big one, Vietnam too. The next one we have got is word of mouth. Now this one, I don't know if this is common, but it's what we've used in situations. So word of mouth. So that might be obviously through contacts, through your network. It might be through suppliers. It might be through understanding where there is concentration of factories in certain areas and going to visit and going to talk to people. We've done that where we've literally talked to people and asked them because we know there's a lot of raw material there. We've asked suppliers, we've asked people, is there suppliers at this, here, there, and we found some good ones through that. So word of mouth, maybe less common, I don't know, but that's what we've used. The last one here is Chat GPT. So yeah, we've used this a little bit. So you can obviously ask ChatGPT to their suppliers of various products. It will know a lot of them. I don't know for sure if it knows all of the suppliers. In my experience, it only knows a very select few. Now, that might change over time, so obviously this is one to keep an eye on. But obviously ChatGPT is banned in China, so that's one thing, of course. But if you were looking at USA and Europe, that could be really good. So now, what ones have we done personally? So what have we used? So we have used, yes. So we have used, oh jeez, yes. So we've used Alibaba. We've sourced in Southeast Asia, in China. But Alibaba's obviously the biggest one. It's the easiest one. It's free to create an account. You go on, you can have a look at products. It'll start to give you a feel and an intuition for things. So Alibaba obviously just makes so much sense. Next one is Google. So we have used Google as well. Yes. And yeah, look, you're going to get factories, you're going to get suppliers coming up on that. We've used Google actually in the last few weeks as well. So you're going to find suppliers on that. So look, keep it simple. This doesn't need to be overly complicated. I think some people try to make it complicated. It's not. And this is where all the magic comes from. This is where you get your experience, where you get your insights, where you get your wisdom. So to me, it's a lot of fun, this type of stuff, because that's where experience comes in over the years ahead. Events, so I would say no here. Have I been to events? Maybe, but in either case, they've not been memorable or I've just not used it effectively. So events is one that we haven't used, at least that I can recall. But they're everywhere. So this is obviously one area you could tap into, one area we could tap into. If you know what you're looking for, maybe it's furniture, maybe it's supplements, whatever it might be, there's going to be events and expos for these things where suppliers are going to be there wanting to do business, and to me with suppliers as well, I always wanted to meet in person. So the sooner I can do that, the better. And usually that will come after getting some success with the product, maybe 3, 6, 12 months in. But getting in there, shaking hands, because that's where you get the personal relationship. That's where you'll get better terms, where you get better deals, etc. So events is one way that we've not done yet, but for sure is something that we're aware of. Yes. So word of mouth. So as I talked about earlier, we've done this. We've talked to people in various areas of factories, etc., and we found it through word of mouth. Obviously, in Asia, is not as developed as the West, so there's many situations where suppliers or factories are not even online yet. They're just not. It is getting better and better over time, but there is cases where they're just not online. They're big factories. They do a lot of business through the decades, and they just have no real interest in it. So word of mouth comes in there, and then finally we've got ChatGPT. We have used it. We haven't found a supplier through it, or have we? Okay, we've used, actually, you know what? That's not quite a yes, because this one is more I know we've used a list of explorers. I don't know for sure if the current ones we're working with are through ChatGPT. However, Alibaba, Google, events, word of mouth, ChatGPT. This is how to find winning suppliers. Again, keep it simple, have some fun with it, contact the suppliers, come across as professional, and you're going to find some winning products, or you're going to find some winning suppliers to go with your winning products. So I hope this helps.